So good evening, everyone, and I will be discussing about the USSR Geofon scale. So, so the hypocenter of an aftershocks detected and localized using data from Geofon network for the time interval 1990 to 2006 is shown by oranges, yellow, and green circles respectively to the depth scale. The focal mechanism of the main event is represented by a green beach ball. White blue color appears all the other focal mechanism in the same region. The MSK scale, sometimes also referred to as the Geofon scale, is used to assess the intensity of an earthquake based on its observed effects on structures, people, and environment. So, the Geofon scale is a seismic intensity scale utilized to evaluate the strength of an earthquake by considering its visible impact on structures, individuals, and surrounding environment. So, the scale provides a way to qualitatively categorize the impact of an earthquake on scale from 1 to 12, where each level corresponds to a range of observed effects from not felt to total destruction. So, the primary purpose of the MSK scale is to offer a qualitative assessment of the earthquake's consequences, assigning a rating from 1 to 12 based on the range of effects experienced. The MSK scale is particularly useful for understanding how an earthquake affects people, buildings, and the surrounding environment. So, at the MSK scale assesses the impact of an earthquake on people, structure, and environment, providing insights into the observed effects. Unlike the magnitude scales, the measure of energy released by an earthquake intensity scale, like the MSK scale, focuses on the consequences and observed impact. Information is crucial for emergency response, urban planning, and assessing the potential risks associated with seismic events. Unlike the magnitude scales that quantify or an earthquake's energy release, the MSK scale emphasizes consequences. This data is essential for effective emergency response, helping allocate resources based on the severity of observed impacts in urban planning, and it guides building codes and infrastructures designed to enhance resilience. So, additionally, the scale aids to evaluate potential risks and informing public awareness efforts about earthquake preparedness. So the Mendeleev-Spin-Hoover-Carnico MSK scale, also known as the Geofon scale, categorizes the intensity of an earthquake effects on a scale from 1 to 12. So scale level 1, not felt. Earthquake is not felt by people. It is only recorded by the seismographs. 2. Um, Scarcely felt. Only few individuals and residents, especially on upper floors of building, might feel the earthquake. Most people do not notice it. So weak. Number 3, weak. Some people indoors might feel the earthquake, but the majority do not feel anything. Outdoor, outdoor, the earthquake is generally not noticeable. 4. Largely observed. Many people indoors feel the earthquake, but it is still not strong enough to be felt by most people outside. Objects indoors might rattle slightly. 5. Strong. The earthquake is felt by nearly everyone, and many people indoors are awakened by it. People outdoors can feel the ground shaking. Hanging objects might sway noticeably. 6. Slightly damaging. The earthquake is felt by everyone, causing alarm. Many people rush outdoors in fear. Unstable objects can topple and windows might break. 7. Damaging. Panic and alarm are widespread. People find it difficult to stand, and moving vehicles might have noticeable vibrations. Furniture and other objects shift or fall. 8. Heavily damaging. Excuse me. Number 8. Heavily damaging. General panic ensures trees shake and many buildings suffer structural damage. Unreinforced masonry structure can collapse. The shaking is intense. 9. Destructive. A state of general panic persists. Buildings and suffer considerably damage, even those made with reinforced materials. Serious structural damage occurs and some building collapse. Number 10. Very destructive. Most building collapse and many structures are severely damaged. Panic and destruction are widespread. Landslides and ground cracks might occur. 11. Devastating. Only a few, if any, structures remain standing. The landscape is altered and ground cracks are widespread. Devastation is extensive. 12. A completely devastating. Total destruction is widespread. In not no structure remains standing and the ground surface might exhibit waves or other significant uh, deformations. The Medvedev's Penheuer-Karnik MSK scale, also known as the Geofon scale, holds significance in the field of earthquake engineering due to its focus on the observed significance in the field of earthquake engineering, accessing the observed effects of earthquakes on people, buildings, and the environment. Its importance lies in several key aspects. First, the assessment impact. So, the MSK scale provides a qualitative description of the impact of an earthquake on the built environment and society. The information is crucial for understanding the potential image that different levels of seismic activity can cause. Next, emergency response. Planning. The scale helps emergency response teams and local authorities understand what to expect in terms of panic, structural damage, and other effects based on the earthquake's intensity. This aids planning and allocating resources for immediate response efforts. Next, infrastructure design and retrofitting. Uh, engineer, engineer use the information for the MSK scale to design and to retrofit buildings and structure to withstand seismic forces, and the scale provides insights into the potential level of underground shaking and its consequences, helping engineers make informed decisions about structural integrity. Next is assessment. Assessment. The MSK scale contributes to seismic risk assessment by providing a way to estimate potential damage and disruption for specific region. This information is essential for insurance company, urban planners, and policymakers to make informed decisions about land use, building codes, and risk mitigation strategies. Next, urban planning. Understanding the potential impacts of earthquake is crucial for urban planning. The scale helps city planners and officials make decisions about where to allow constructions, how to design infrastructure, and how to prioritize critical facilities such as hospitals and emergency shelters. Next, public awareness. The scale is used to communicate the potential effects of earthquakes to the public, in a relatable and understandable manner. It helps people grasp the potential consequences of various levels of seismic activity, promoting preparedness and safety measures. Next, historical comparison. The MSK scale allows to consider consistent comparison of earthquake effects across different events and regions. This aids in studying the impact of historical earthquakes and their implications for future events. Next, data collection and analysis. The scale encourages the collection of detailed data on the observed effects of earthquakes. This data valuable for improving our understanding of seismic behavior and refining engineering practices. So the MSK scale bridges the gap between seismology and engineering, providing a practical framework for translating the potential impact of an earthquake into actionable information for urban planning, infrastructure design, and disaster preparedness. So that's all, guys. Thank you.